Soprani.
All right, hello and welcome back to another episode of Degenerate Boomer. Yeah, it's me, Cindy Arena, and
Sherry Soprani. Thank you for coming back to Degenerate Boomer. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We have an awesome guest today. Go ahead, Cindy, get into it.
yeah, so we got Brad. Brad, shout out your name and all your socials to start.
Yo, my name is Brad Rickert. You can see me on the internet at Brad Ain't Funny on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all the same.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
He's smart that he did that all the same.
You know, and you guys need to go look because I was just joking. We have he's like a real life Ken doll.
Gorgeous dude,
Yeah,
man.
good looking.
Yeah.
Looks like the all-American sports guy, and that's perfect because our topic is going to be sports.
Yeah, he's got a
And
great
the way
jawline.
we grew up. Yeah, it's like he looks like he looks like the
Ladies.
quarterback.
That's why we put you
And
in the
can't-
Ladies.
You can't tell you're doing a podcast with two lesbians right now,
Two
right?
old lesbians.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this couch is super
And we're,
damp right now.
sexually harassing Mr. Kendall, you know.
I know.
You know, only in comedy could I be considered that good looking. And
Right,
no,
you're a 10.
Oh, shit.
like if I was in like finance or something like that, I'd be like one of the mid
Zeroed
ugly
up.
ones. Yeah, disgusting.
No,
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I
and
don't
that is
know
a
about
joke.
that, maybe, but I
That's a
don't know.
joke I always make with a lot of the male comics and some of the, the female. Like you're a comedy 10.
Comedy hot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right,
hell
yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're a comedy 10. And
yeah.
So,
I get that.
Right. And we've got a comedy 10 here. So Brad, how long have you been doing comedy?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Get into
It's almost embarrassing to say on the record, but I did my first show when I was 14.
14.
Yeah.
And where did you do that show?
It was
14?
It was at a party in high school
A party?
that had like bands and stuff like that. So
Like a variety show?
Right. Yeah. So it was like a battle of the bands type situation. I did my first set. I thought 25 minutes was the correct amount of time to do at that age. I'm sure it was awful, but it went well enough to keep doing it. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
14. I can't even imagine getting on a stage and doing jokes at 14. Did you write them or did you just...
Oh yeah, I wrote
You wrote
everything.
everything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Wow.
sure it was all very hacky and not, inspired. But
But Brad, what year was that?
that would have been 2006.
2006-ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're a strong, you're a millennial, right? Are you still in the millennial?
Oh yeah, I'm
yeah,
smack
right.
dab in the middle of
You're
it.
right in
Yeah.
the center. So who was your, at 14, you clearly had a comedy hero.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like at 14, you knew what was happening with comedy.
That's all that mattered.
Right.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
it?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my God,
100%.
really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a psychopath. Yeah.
Really?
Obsessed.
Yeah.
So really, who was your favorite?
I had a Mount Rushmore, I would say.
Nice.
That was because
Yeah.
I boiled down to 4 for me. It was Steve Martin,
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Adam Sandler,
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Jim Carrey,
Yep.
Eddie Murphy.
I see all of them
Yeah.
in you
Yeah.
too.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I could see that.
So you were like a serious hardcore comedy fan. I know you play music.
No, not really. No,
Oh.
I like music, but I don't.
I thought you said you played the bass.
Oh, he's joking.
Oh, that's a joke.
He's
See,
joking.
most of my jokes are
He's joking.
complete bullshit. I also, in my jokes, own a Dave and Buster's, but I don't actually
Right,
own a Dave and
right,
Buster's. But
I mean, saying you play bass in a band isn't that far of a stretch. So I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe we should do music with Brad. And he don't even fucking Brad.
I mean, you can hand me a bass, we can see what happens. It doesn't seem
Right.
that hard.
No,
You
I know it's only 4 strings or something. Yeah.
I was also like, oh, sweet. Brad's in a band.
That made you like me more.
I don't know. I was just like, oh, he does everything. He's,
multi-talented.
Yeah, like go Ken go. But no, seriously, Brad, he's a good dude. Brad has been so kind. Whenever I call him, he gives me spots.
Yeah,
Brad
same.
produces a ton of comedy in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, right?
And Queens, yes. I'm in 3 boroughs right now, yeah.
So, I mean, I respect that grind. I hate producing. I avoid it at all costs. And if it wasn't for guys like you, I wouldn't have stage time. So
Same with
really,
me.
it's a thankless job, dude.
Well, thanks. Appreciate
I do.
it. Yeah.
Same as people that run open mics. It's
Yeah,
a
I
thankless
mean,
fucking job.
It is one of the worst things in
It
the world
is.
to possibly do. But I
But
do
someone's
it.
got to do it.
Someone's got to
It's one
do
of the
it.
worst things
It
It's-
in the world.
is. It's a nightmare.
The end product's nice. Like last
Right. Oh,
night,
last
there was
night
a
was
fun show.
amazing.
You
We're
make it
hanging
look
out.
easy, bro. You make it look really easy.
I mean, I'm producing like 100 events a year at this point. So
yeah,
it's
but
like,
you know what, Brad?
yeah.
That's that's a skill that
You're
you can
crushing it.
probably take it farther and farther, like going into.
That's true.
I'm
I'd
going to
rather
tell
be
you
funny.
what a
but
lot. No, I completely understand, but there does come a point, I know, who, we're doing what you're doing, producing, and you know what I mean, trying to get stage time, and and it just wasn't popping for them for whatever reason, which it doesn't for 99.9 of us. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And they went into being managers and agents,
Sure.
and can't you see him as a freaking manager or an agent too?
I can, but he's also a really funny comedian.
Yeah, but
I could manage a Pizza Hut
but
or something
the
like that.
funny part of his comedy,
Domino's.
a lot of comics are comedian agents and managers.
Oh yeah.
And because his skill is knowing funny and where
Right.
to book it, and and push his
he
people.
knows the comedy game.
That's
in and
it.
out. That's for sure.
That's all part
Thank
of
you.
it.
I'll take it. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you.
And and I was really surprised to learn that a lot of the agents are were comics, like great comics that were producing, and you just have to have the eye for who's funny and who's not.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, no matter what level you're at, you're producing your own shows on some level. It's people buying tickets to see your show, whatever
Right.
that means. So,
Exactly.
But that makes you the king of promotion, which will also make you an excellent manager or agent for somebody someday.
And
So
let's talk about he's only been in New York
really,
a little over a year. Yeah,
over
yeah.
a year, and he's fucking crushing it. A little over a year.
yeah.
Come on.
So you still got a
Yeah.
lot of time.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we're having fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
We're
it here.
out here, bro.
Yeah. So
We have fun.
So Brad, did he shout out his social because I'm like losing my
Yeah, we
mind?
did that,
Okay,
yeah.
we
Ain't
did that.
funny.
Very good. People
Brad
go,
ain't funny.
go look him
Yeah.
up now. Yeah. Brad, why did you move to New York?
I was in Chicago for 10 years doing comedy, and there's this thing there where you see the same people over again, and you keep drinking beer, and then you keep getting hungover,
yeah.
and then your life goes to shambles. So I did that for about 10 years.
It took me 10 years to figure out how it was.
I spent my 20s there. Yeah. It was fun. But it was time to try something new. COVID was just like, all right, I need to get the fuck out of the city. It was either New York or LA.
Okay.
And then my girlfriend lives out here, so it was like it kind of swayed the decision this way a little bit more, but I'm glad I did because stand-up's been way better in New York than LA. So
Listen, I don't want to sound like a New York comedy snob, but
it's the
I
best.
prefer New York comedy, the East Coast.
I've heard
the
that.
best. Yeah,
I've
it's-
heard that.
But the comics that come out of New York, it's a different fucking breed.
Oh hell yeah,
You
man! Because
know,
we're in the trenches out here, and it's
It is.
thousands of us.
Well, yeah, and it's like
thousands of us out here.
like right now, give it to me right now. You got 3 minutes, go. Like you're getting yelled at in the street all the time. You better give people
Exactly.
something to look at. You
And
know,
I've been trying to follow more LA comics, you know what I mean? Here, I definitely have my finger on the pulse of who's really good and who I think is going to blow up. And I have a hit list in my head, and I make a list of people that I'm like, these are going to blow up. You know what I mean? Because but I have to do that because maybe I'm misjudging LA comedy. I don't know, because I don't see.
No, we're East fucking coasters, bro. We don't get that LA shit, man. No disrespect to the LA crowd, you know what I mean? Just in case you want to book me, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is different. It's so different. But for me, really am enjoying doing comedy.
You're crushing it with these young kids.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was nervous to come to do comedy here.
Really?
So my last trip, I told my daughter, I'm like, I'm just gonna really push and try to get like Brooklyn stuff. I've never done it, and let me try. And it's been really great. So honestly, I like it better than Manhattan.
Yeah.
I do. I think that the crowds
Different
here,
vibe.
for
and
sure.
I was nervous. About like the woke, young hipstery type, the stereotypical in my head.
No, they respect your old
But
ass.
yeah, I mean, they appear to get me, so that's cool. And
Right.
I honestly, I haven't struggled like I do in Manhattan. I struggle.
Interesting.
It's weird.
Huh? That surprises me. It makes sense that Brooklyn loves you though, because I feel like everyone has those thoughts that they're like aren't PC, that aren't like they don't want to.
Also, right, and also I think I remind a lot of them of like maybe their mother or what they wish their mother
Like
was
crazy.
like.
You remind me of like a crazy aunt or a crazy
Right.
older
You're
sister.
a palatable messenger for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
palatable measure.
And when I
exactly.
talk shit about my kids, I think I relate to the younger
Oh,
people
yeah, of
because they're
course,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I'm one of them
That's
little
me.
fuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know?
I have the opposite problem. So I go into Manhattan, do well, and then in Brooklyn is where I work out all my material because I am the antithesis of
'Cause
everything.
you can.
Right. I mean, yeah, they're
Well,
like,
that
fuck this
and-
guy. Why isn't this guy like a fucking banker? You know,
exactly,
it's like, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, corporate bro. Yeah.
See, Brad, because this is another thing we like to talk about is doing comedy for the different generations, and you're hitting the nail on the head right there with your look. Not let's just take away your material. Let's take the fact that you get on stage in how you look. And I have a very good comedy male friend who's is a handsome dude like you, and. No, really.
Are you saying the only because booked because he's hot? Is that what you're saying?
Thing to do. I don't think men get
Is
booked because
this
they're
gonna
hot.
be a three-way? Or
What's happening?
You know
right
what
now?
he finds he struggles with is when he gets on stage, it's really hard for him to be self-deprecating because they look at him and go, "Okay, pretty boy,
right? Yeah.
pretty boy, oh,
Right.
boo-hoo."
Yep.
A straight white man. What do you have to cry about?
You know, and he
he's
struggles.
been through some shit. He's from Indiana.
I know, and my friend goes hard on his anxiety. He talks shit about like his anxiety and how anxious he is, and he kills it with that. So with you doing comedy, I would say at like the Broadway, where you've got like a mix of like the different older generations, that they probably love you because they're like, I want my daughter to marry him.
That's more of my background for sure. Is like Midwestern, middle age, like little towns. That's where I build all my material. Was in the middle of the Midwest, like just shithole bars and little towns. Just running long sets there. So
yeah, but I could see. You know what? That's perfectly makes
And he's
sense.
getting booked all the time. He's getting.
Yeah,
You're
I didn't
out
realize
here.
you only been here a year. Damn,
That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
he's a
all right.
rising star.
Here, I'm not telling him if comedy, hey, you could be a great agent.
No,
Me, I
no,
didn't,
no, he's been
but,
around,
But
yeah.
the nice thing is that, like, with your skill, you've got a lot of options.
Yo, I mean, if I got a day job right now, so if I get a day job where I'm managing someone and then I'm also doing comedy, I'll take that money to the bank. Money's money. Let's go. Like I'm not saying no to nothing. So.
But yeah.
Opportunist.
So you do find it easier for you to hit the older crowd more than the younger?
It's not even about age so much as it's about the type of people in Manhattan versus the
Location,
type
right?
of people
Yeah.
in Brooklyn. So Manhattan is like, more of like a 9-to-5 grind, and like people that, I hate to say it like this, but I'm going to say it like this
Fucking
because
say it.
they're people that have real lives, like they have to like live, they have to go to work, they
We're
struggle.
not trust fund babies.
Yeah, and I feel like Brooklyn's a lot of like make believe land. It's like, like, oh, I work 20 hours a week and I work at a bird sanctuary, and like, and then my parents like pay half my
my
rent.
mommy
and then,
pays my rent. Yeah,
idealistic brains, so.
it's true.
And it's true because so many of the local, a lot of the comics that I have met here, I'm always like, how are you surviving? And I don't even know why in my head, because I can't imagine, but their parents are like fucking paying their way.
Absolutely.
And that will make you have way more time to do comedy and really jump way ahead of people that have to work their ass off at day jobs and try to do it at
yeah,
night.
it's a grind.
That's
man.
been my thing, is just struggling to get through life and navigate. I grew up poor, poverty, navigate mental illness, navigate getting my shit together, and then also being a good comic. Like you have to be a fully formed person before, well, some people get pretty successful before they're ready, but it's worked out for me that like it didn't happen
It's
earlier.
only been a year.
Well, I mean, like,
He's been doing this since he's been 14.
but yeah, I was in Chicago doing stuff with like Second City and like touring the Midwest and stuff, and I did clubs and all that stuff. So it was.
So you were opening for a lot of people too?
Yeah, I've done. I call it the white trash circuit in the Midwest. I've
I'm
opened.
down for that.
I've
baby.
opened for a lot of like the Jackass guys, Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, that's fucking awesome, man.
Let's see, Broken Lizard.
So like the Skankfest dudes, you know them?
I don't know them, but I would love to.
Well, yeah, I
That's
would
that's the
love-
crowd that would probably fuck with me the most.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to fucking Skankfest. Book all of us, okay? Well, I'll suck your dick. Just saying. I'm just kidding.
You would probably do it for the fest. I mean, would your wife let you?
what she don't know won't hurt.
Right. Yeah, we're not putting it on camera.
I don't need to be on no skank fest. I'm fine. I ain't
They
sucking.
won't book you for.
I ain't sucking a skanky dick at all. Okay.
They'll book you for it.
No
They'll book
long
you.
hanging skanky balls. None of that's going in my mouth.
No
Okay.
tainty wainty. Come on.
I don't know, but no, the word blowjob ain't coming out of my mouth, and it ain't coming in my mouth.
Have you
okay?
ever?
Well, yeah, when I was a very young child and didn't know better.
When
but
you
yeah.
were a child.
No, she has 2 children with a man.
Yeah, I was married.
She was straight before.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, it
so,
doesn't
I
mean you
mean-
gave a blowjob though.
No,
but
that's true too.
No.
I bet my grandma never gave a blowjob in her life.
She
but
might not have. She might have been.
Really? Do we have one? I don't want to think.
she did just die. I probably shouldn't.
Oh.
Yeah, R.I.P. grandma. But
So, all right. So, yeah, Brad, we're gonna get into the the portion where we discuss a specific thing with you, all right, generational topic
Yeah.
with you, and he came in with I'm so bad
Got
at
the Knicks jersey on
Knicks.
today.
What are you wearing?
No, I should have grabbed it. If I can grab it if you want. It's just a LeBron jersey.
Oh,
nice. Okay.
He's about to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for most points scored in the history of the NBA, like this week.
No shit.
So, and it's my first time going to the Garden, so I was like, even though the Lakers aren't playing, I just wanted to rep my
All right,
guy because
no.
So,
it's a
yeah.
magical feeling in the Garden when you go into
Right,
the Garden.
yeah.
And you can feel the history in there. You can feel the competition. You're gonna have a good time. He's going to the Knicks game tonight.
So,
I'm pretty stoked, yeah.
Brad is a sports fan. So I'm like, you know what? Let's talk the way sports when I was young compared to what sports is like now. Brad's a sports dude. He does look like he could have been the high school quarterback. But yeah, so
pass me the ball, coach.
so what? Midwest, holy shit! Like football was life, was it? Or all of them?
Basketball for you, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was basketball. Indiana's a huge basketball state. My high school specifically, though, was a big football school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they won state 2 out of the 4 years
But
I
like
was there,
the
or something
Friday
like
night
that. Yeah.
games were like
Oh yeah.
That was the party
like
time.
fucking pro
Yeah.
football games
Right.
in some of
Hell
those
yeah.
towns,
That's
you know.
like
Yeah.
everyone lost their virginity under the
Right.
bleachers at a
Yeah,
high school football
sniffing
game for
lines
sure.
and
Yeah.
banging
Oh
knives.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, those big, because I grew up in a trailer park right outside of Gary, Indiana, which was a little more like rural or more urban. And then my
Right.
high school I went to was like a farm town. So they were like,
Cows in the backyard and shit.
dude, like just like barn
Right.
parties when you're like
Right,
16 years
right,
old,
right.
just like lighting shit on fire
Yeah.
and like just
Oh, that sounds like
drinking.
fun,
But
actually.
yeah, I mean, it was just with the right people, it would have been. But yeah,
Committing arson and getting trashed.
yeah,
man.
for sure.
Yeah, but hey, a lot of those kids there was they're their way the fuck out of town.
Yeah, well, and they
You know
know
what
they
I
do
mean?
what they had to
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Getting
What else were they
into a
gonna do?
Division I school. Hey, I grew up in the city, and football and basketball was a lot of those dudes' ways out. Like there was no option for
100%.
college
Yeah,
when I was a
definitely,
kid.
yeah.
Nobody was going to fucking college. Like your way out was football, basketball was your way getting into a D1 school. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Hoping to move up. So, and I imagine it's like that a lot in those little farm towns. You know what I mean? That's your way the fuck out.
Yeah,
You
it was
know, just
definitely
get good
yeah,
at that.
yeah. There was definitely some of that for sure. It was just a lot of dumb, strong, corn-fed boys
Right.
that were like, "I can push a guy really hard.
Exactly.
Can I go to a community college for free?" And they're like,
Yes,
"Sure."
yes, you can.
Like,
Play this ball right now.
But I think of all the movies about that are popular is always the like Friday Night Lights was
Oh, I
just
love
like
Friday Night
that.
Lights. And Varsity
Yeah.
Blues was my shit.
Yeah, he reminds the growing up the way you grew up with sports anyway.
Right,
You
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
Yeah, but but did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college.
Where you go to college?
I went to college for 9 years.
Yeah.
And
we
I
love
have
that.
I have an associate's degree in general studies.
So a 2-year
And-
degree took you 9 years.
Well, I did get a bachelor's in communications eventually,
Oh,
but
good,
yeah,
good,
I just
good.
bounced around. I always did like school part time because I moved like out on my own when I was 18. So I was like, just it took me a second, and now I have a bunch of debt and a bartending job. So good thing I finished.
Brad, meet my daughter.
Wait, what?
Brad, you should meet my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah,
He has a girlfriend.
Oh yeah, no, I know,
okay.
I know.
We can just be
He has a
friends.
girlfriend.
We can just be
but
friends.
yeah.
I was just making sure that wasn't where it was going. That's all.
But no, right. I mean, I met his girlfriend. She took my photo last night. She's wonderful.
Awesome. She's a great photographer.
Yeah, but no, same. She went to school for a whole lot of years, and I did finally graduate with a college degree.
Yeah.
So
At a certain point, you're just like, well, I might as well finish. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
right.
yeah. So then we get it, Brad. We get it. So Sherry, what sports did you do when you were young?
I played softball.
duh.
Obviously, I'm fucking done.
Was it like fast pitch?
No, it was fast pitch.
Of
Like
course.
we'll wind it up and throw it
Yeah,
fast,
right. Yeah, you
smack
didn't do
the shit
that
out of the
pussy
ball.
little
I did the arc later in life.
arc. It's called. That's
the
when you get
arc, when you
older.
throw it up. Yeah, exactly. For like a bar league.
Yeah,
to get
right.
drunk
You
at,
start
yeah.
playing at bars.
And I
without-
played basketball as well.
You did.
I played softball and basketball as a point guard.
Point
Okay.
guard.
Yeah, and I would, get rides from my mom every day to go to practice. After practice, we would go and get drunk and get high, and then you know what I mean. Get
Great for
trashed.
cardio, yeah.
Exactly, great for cardio. And then the next day, get up, go to practice again, play. It was fun. It was a good time, like any other, fun extracurricular activities. And there was bitches there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I used to love softball girls.
Right,
Oh my
yeah.
God, they're
in
like
shape,
they're
man.
thick.
Yeah,
they're
Thicky Ricky,
they got
you
they got
know?
those tree legs.
Exactly.
But, because when I was a kid, we didn't do no sports. Our sport was staying alive.
That's so fucking funny.
My sport was staying alive. My sport was getting my drunk father up off the ground.
Was avoiding polio. There you go.
That's fucking fun.
It sounds like a new bit for
No,
you.
because I had Amy. Oh my God, I had a podcast for years, and my co-host was Amy, and I still fucking slip up. Sherry's the new one, but anyway, I used to have a radio station too, so
nice.
she was my co-host. So, we were talking about we were going to do TV with Mika. You know what I mean? Like how I grew up in consuming television all the way up to now,
sure.
right? And Sherry's like, yeah, you probably like were watching like there was no color TV. I'm like, bitch, what do you think I am? I'm like, I'm not that old.
Color TV?
I'm like
the 60s?
Yeah, I'm like, what do you think? I was sitting around a fucking radio drinking moonshine. I'm that.
Play young.
I remember TV always being in color. I was born in '62, so I guess I remember it always being in color. I'm like on the fence boomer, very
I got you,
close. Yeah. So Brad, tell me how you used to get to your games, because that was always a challenge with my kids, but we're going to figure this out with
how'd you
you.
get to your basketball
How'd you
games?
get to all these games?
Yeah, I would. So, wow, there were a lot of different ways. So,
Your creepy coach ever want to drive you around?
oh yeah, just in the back of his van.
You know why? Because I feel like somebody here had a creepy coach.
Right. I'm projecting. I'm sorry. No, but yeah, would you ride your bike? Your mom?
Yeah, for Little League Baseball, I would do my bike. So the weirdest part about my high school basketball career was I played at a very small private school.
She probably shined.
Yeah, so I was starting varsity at 13 years old.
Hell yeah, bro.
Well, I guess. I mean, we were bad. We were really bad.
Doesn't matter. You started.
No, but I mean, so I was. We didn't have a bus either. Like, it was that small, so it was like the upperclassmen that would just drive everyone around.
Oh wow. Okay.
So at 13 years old, I was just driving around with 17 and 18-year-old,
right, just hanging out.
Yeah. And if it wasn't a small Christian school, it probably would have been really bad, but we didn't really get in too much trouble. We were just like fucking around, and like someone said shit and to be like, hee, we're bad,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like getting rides from friends. My parents actually hated giving me rides places.
Did your parents go to your games?
Yeah, sometimes. My dad was my Little League coach when I was
that's
little.
Cool. That's cool.
I actually have
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay, I got a quick story for you.
Story time.
When I was 12 years old, my parents kept having kids. They just like kept fucking and having kids.
Yeah.
No
protection.
just classic like Christian behavior.
Midwest getting down.
Four kids. They didn't have the money for it,
Right.
so my dad gets snipped. Right,
Right.
like so he gets a vasectomy. All right,
yeah.
and he was my Little League coach at the time. So his first game back, he's the first base coach.
Right.
So
run through, go to
so
second.
yeah. When you hit the ball, he's the coach off on first base.
Yeah.
In my first at bat, I hit a foul ball right at his crotch area.
Right in his nutsack.
Mm-hmm.
And you reversed his vasectomy, didn't you?
Yeah, now I got 4 more brothers.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and they are not the same color as me. So I guess I hit him so hard that they came out black.
Right.
But
you can even blackballs, motherfucker.
no more kids. I think the vasectomy did stick, but
I'm
I did get him pretty good right after.
Right in the nutsack.
Yeah, I
bro.
felt really bad. It was so fucking funny.
Man, I wish that was on video because I would watch that over and over, like America's
Oh my
Funniest
God!
Videos.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bob Saget.
Exactly. Yeah. Rest in peace,
Damn.
Bobby Saget.
Sherry,
man.
did your parents go to your games?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, I mean, my parents were white trash, but they weren't like meth head white trash. They were working class white
Right,
trash.
right.
So yeah, they would come when they didn't have to work or when they weren't committing crimes. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I wasn't raised. There was no sports
There was
in
no
my
sports
life.
when you were in high school. Yes, there was.
Yeah, there
And
was,
I
but like
remember that.
my gang, we didn't play sports. Like
Okay,
that,
so
you know
you
what I'm
didn't
saying?
play.
Like that,
You didn't
there was
play.
probably a few girls playing sports, but it was mostly the boys. Like we didn't.
Oh, that's what you're trying to say. So
it was the
mostly men.
70s. Like there wasn't a lot of
Okay.
there wasn't a lot
Maybe
of that
like
going
the hot
on.
volleyball team.
And I'm not the athletic type. I mean, I'm
couldn't
just
tell.
yeah.
I'm
no,
just kidding.
No,
Just kidding. I
it's,
love you.
I'm not. I'm
I
not
bet
the
you're a
athletic
hell
type.
of a bowler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
Oh,
no,
shit,
no,
you
no.
do look like a
no.
bowler,
Yeah,
man.
No, you don't bowl?
Yeah.
I don't bowl, honey. I don't do that.
I don't.
Yeah, but I
might do
will.
that for my
I will
birthday,
bowl.
actually.
Down.
I had
will
a stripper
bowl.
last year. I might
I'll
be
try
bowling
it.
this
I'll
year.
try it. But no, but
anyway.
my kids were into sports, and in my
have
mind,
girls, though.
right? I had daughters,
Okay.
and they're about Brad's age, right in there with you.
Young 30s.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, old 20s.
Oh, okay.
But
Right.
and it was all during that helicopter parent phase. You know what I mean? That happened. Like everyone's like, "Oh, you're a helicopter mom's," all that, and I really was not a helicopter mom, but when it came to sports, I used to drive these little bitches everywhere, and I wanted them to quit every sport.
You're such a good mom.
I didn't want them doing. I'm the opposite. Like these parents would be on my one daughter played soccer, right? And these parents were on the field, and they would be out there screaming, kick it here, do it. And I'd be sitting in my chair. Like, I wasn't one of those parents. Like I'm like, oh hell no.
When's this fucking game over?
And this is before we had cell phones that you could read. Like they
Yeah.
were only to make
Oh,
calls.
God.
There was no text.
You had
none
to
of
pay
that, right?
attention. Oh,
no,
my
I brought
God.
a Us magazine or my People magazine.
There
'cause
you go.
that's-
You were
and
sitting in the place with a fucking magazine.
I was in a chair,
You're-
right, flipping my magazine.
Oh shit.
Listen to this. I'm in the chair.
Oh.
I'm not paying attention.
Oh
Game.
man.
I go into work the next night, and a lot of the parents
Talking shit.
order pizza from my shop, and
Oh,
they would all
good.
come in. Oh, Marissa had a great game. She played, for the town. Like,
Right.
it's the big thing. And the one guy comes in, and for all you know that my partner in the business was a Division I soccer player. Okay, so she right.
D1.
Yeah. So he comes in and he's like, oh my God, Marissa, that was like, what an amazing goal. Like she scored the last 10 seconds and they won the game. Like what an amazing shot.
And you don't remember shit.
And I'm like,
I was reading People magazine.
wait a minute, what game? What game was that? He was like,
You were there in the bleachers.
last night.
Reading People magazine.
I did not even notice my child did
Fucking
that.
boomers.
I'm like, are you fucking that? And then Tracy, who was a
Fucking boomers.
Division I soccer player, came flying out the kitchen and she's like, you are really a piece of shit.
No.
LOL.
She's like, you didn't even notice your child scored. I was like,
The winning goal, bro.
yeah, can you believe that? So
I do
fucking
believe
go,
that.
Marissa.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Shout out Marissa, your winning goal.
And my oldest daughter was a cheerleader.
Right.
And I used to drive her to all the games. And I have some stories about that, but I'm going to save it for when my daughter's on the podcast because it will be
Oh,
much
that would
more
be fun,
amusing when
yeah.
Alexa's verifying
Right.
that her mother was
Oh,
a
she can
piece of
fact.
shit.
She can fact check you
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
But yeah, so it was a different time when I was a kid, and I know a lot of people now say that these kids are doing too much. You know what I mean? Too many, what is it, curriculum activity?
Extracurricular
Extra,
activities.
It's a
Extracurricular.
mouthful, right? But, because when I was young, there was none of that. Like, we just all played outside. Like, my sport was kick the can / stay alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Stay
what we played. We played don't go to jail tonight.
Right,
That's how we
right,
played,
right,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dodge the bullet.
Dodge, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I want to think we were throwing the ball at each other in gym. What was that game? They
Dodgeball,
yeah,
motherfucker.
that was a sport. That was the sport.
I love
Great
dodgeball.
sport.
It is, right?
But now, you know, we're talking about sports way back. When I was a kid, there wasn't a lot. To now, where I think the kids are just like, it's over.
It's oversaturated.
I mean, it's a lot. Like, these kids are doing a lot. And I wonder if that really is making them as anxious as this, you know.
I don't know.
I think
I don't
the
really care.
pandemic fucked a lot of kids.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it fucked a lot of
I think
adults
it
up.
fucked everybody up. Like,
Right,
we're
but I
in
mean,
the house, man.
The kids are probably in better shape than all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is normal. We can deal with that. They're like, oh, we can take a break, you know, and we're like, what the fuck are we doing?
But I do think having to like do
Exactly.
5-6 sports every night, driving
No.
around, it's a
Yeah.
lot for a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but if that's all they know, then fuck them.
What do you mean if that fuck them?
Yeah, if it's all they know, what else are they doing? You know, I'd rather
I know,
kids
so-
do that than stay in the house and be, you know, on,
right?
on the phone or on the
You know, I guess you have a point.
internet
I know,
or-
I guess you do have a point.
But
That
I
is why parents are so much more eager to make sure their kids stay busy after school
Yeah, get 'em
because
outside, man.
because they don't play out like we used to, right? Play outdoors like we used
You
to.
played a lot outdoors.
Oh my
because
God.
he came from the
yeah.
farms.
yeah,
That's a
right.
different.
You guys were out there, huh?
Actually, that was a point when I was inside more. I grew up in a trailer park right outside
right.
of Gary, Indiana, and I spent. So my parents were super religious, so I had this like.
You're a pastor's son, aren't
Right,
you?
I have
Son
a-
of a preacher, man.
Right, yeah. So I had like this weird thing where I grew up like in a
Yeah.
like tough area where there's like gang activity everywhere, but also was completely sheltered in some ways.
They were protecting
had
you.
to,
They
though.
were protecting
Right,
you.
no, but they would let me just go out like all day.
So they didn't
Okay,
get that they
right,
could grab
right.
you and get you to sell them drugs for cheap.
Which
I mean,
made
make
me-
more money selling
Yeah.
them drugs than McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seriously.
No,
I
but
didn't get involved in any of that shit
That's
at that
good.
age,
No.
but
That's good.
I would have gotten
But
too
you
much
weren't
trouble.
scared?
But I was around. I mean, I was scared all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
that's why I'm
yeah.
tough now because I like.
you get it.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had some fucked up stuff happen to me when I was growing up, but you know, that's
We'll
character
get into
building.
another podcast.
Yeah, it's another time,
I
but-
mean, in the violence of the ages,
Yeah.
generational ages back
yeah,
then,
seriously,
right? We
like that's
could.
crazy shit. But no,
No,
I understand.
8 to 10 hours a day outside in the
Yeah.
summer every single day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just-
And it's very rare now. And I'm not just saying kids don't go outside because they're playing video games.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of parents need to keep their kids in the house busy because sometimes outside ain't safe. And when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was different. It was different. Like now,
I mean, there was probably a kid getting abducted in every other town. They just weren't
Right,
posting
right.
about it. You
No,
know,
there was
Yeah.
nowhere to post
There's
about it.
You're, you're like, oh, did you hear that kid got kidnapped 3 towns over? No, because like, well, how the fuck would I have heard that?
How the fuck would I know that? Sheriff
Yeah.
John didn't tell me.
Yeah.
yeah. But so I do think that the kids are, I don't know why. I guess we just threw into this topic about sports. And
It's a good topic.
It is
I
a
learned
great
a lot
topic.
about Brad
But
tonight.
Yeah, and I guess I don't really know why parents have got their kids so tripled and doubled up as opposed to when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I just
because they don't have to raise them then.
Right. Babysitters, you're fucking right.
Well,
Ding,
maybe.
ding, ding, ding. The coaches
Me.
are the new babysitters.
But then again, the parents would sit at every game I was at and be yelling out there too. And I'm like, bitch, that child is never going to
No,
be a
you were reading People
professional soccer
magazine.
player. I'm like, I know my kid wasn't going to get a scholarship.
Cut to
Right,
Cindy
right.
in a lawn chair, just rubbing like magazine perfume all over her body.
That's that free Dior
Yeah,
right there. You know.
And I felt kind of bad for a minute. I was like, oh,
For a
really?
minute.
I
Like,
mean, at least you were there.
I
You
was
remember it, so
there.
you feel about it a little.
And then I went home and I said, honey, great job making that goal yesterday. And she was like,
fuck you,
That's
Mom.
so
whatever.
crazy. So she
Yeah.
knew for a day that you didn't know.
she didn't care.
Oh, I see.
She didn't care that I
That
wasn't
was
paying
just
attention.
Well,
classic
I'm gonna
mom.
ask her. I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask.
I have to
I bet
say,
you she cares.
Yeah, I have to say.
I bet you she cares.
Right. I have to say, my kids were always, they dealt with, the deck. They, me as a mother, they dealt with it pretty good.
Well, it seems like you
Having me
mean
for a
well, you
mother.
know.
I tried.
Yeah.
So
You're a
yeah,
I
good
saw
mom.
that.
You're a
Yeah.
good
yeah.
mom.
But I know Brad's got to go to a game, but
Brad
I
is
really
going to
appreciate.
MSG tonight for the first time, Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about a Chinese restaurant.
Get your beef and broccoli
yeah.
right here,
Oh
baby.
man, my stomach feels like shit.
Exactly. No, but you're gonna have a good time. I can't wait for you to
But
hear.
yeah, first time at the Garden. Yeah, I'm excited.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have fun.
Thank you for coming.
And we got to do a part
Thank
2 with
you
Brad.
for
Yeah.
letting me come.
Baby Ken Dow. We're going to
Aw.
see you soon.
He's a gorgeous man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ladies.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Ladies, stop
and he got
it.
the Jordans on.
Look at him.
Oh,
Bow, bow, bow.
wow.
Look at him.
Look at me. Look at
Yeah.
me. Oh, my God. Just look at me.
You are a comedy 10.
Oh, shit. Oh,
I'll take
shit.
it. And a real life 6.9.
Hey. Bow, bow.
All right,
No,
thank
thank
you.
you.
One more time, shout out your
Socials.
Hello, my name is Brad Rickert, and you can find me at bradaintfunny on the internet.com.
Yeah, Brad ain't funny. You can find me Sherry_baby11 and follow Degenerate Boomer. Like, subscribe, and comment. Cindy, give it up.
Yes, Cindy Arena Comedy everywhere, even Venmo. Kids set me up.
Nice, smart.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Brad,
Yes.
thank you.
Thanks,
Love Brad.
lady.
We love
All
Brad.
right.
Spirit fingers, spirit fingers.
Go team, go.
Go, go. That was awesome.